Okay. Hi, and welcome to Moral High Ground, where I'm gonna try to talk about what's morally right. Uh, I know my lighting's crazy. I don't know what the hell. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm talking about fighting for what's right or standing up for what's right. Either way, I'm talking about fighting for what's standing. You gotta stand up for what's right. Just seriously. Tripping over old talk here. Anyway, so let's get to the seriousness of this. I am tired of certain things, and I believe a lot of men are. I believe as a man in America, and I'm only talking about men, because I know what I'm feeling can't be the only thing I'm feeling. It has to be what every other man is feeling. Because I look at the world now, and I comment back at people, great men from the past, men that just like took things by force, was able to fight against all odds to protect their family and the people they cared about. Men that were able to make something out of nothing. I mean, men that went off and fought in wars, men that tried so hard to make America work for them, a man that could take pride in his job. I don't think too many men can nowadays unless it's something they've done by hand and they actually accomplish something. Okay? Men nowadays, I believe, and like I said, I can't be the only one, frustrated, aggravated, constantly banging their head up against the wall, trying to find things to make themselves feel happy and joy. And we lose this happiness and this joy because of what? Like government, corporations, women, and just so many things that should be just simple, straight to the point. It's always twisted, perverted, and screwed around. Okay? It's not something where a man can sit back and then go, yeah, I did it. Feel accomplished or something and drink a beer with a nice comforter just to relax and say, hey, this is my reward for the day. No, instead we grab booze and we go, oh, this fucking shit happened. You just sit there and you're just like, damn it, not again. No, I need a drink. It's drive me crazy type of thing. This isn't what booze was originally for. It was something to just go back and, lay down and, chill out with a broad or whatever, man. But now it's just like the pressure is overwhelming on a man in society today. And it has to do with all these groups, these, like I always say, these groups, they stand up for these causes, but are they really standing up for the right causes? And who is it truly benefiting? Me, I believe, and once again, you can say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I believe it's benefiting the United States government. The thing of taking away masculinity is an honest to God joke. It's a joke because women get to parade around all day talking about uh, their hormones, their periods. They talk about pretty much everything that affects a woman emotionally and things that we all know. Everything they're talking about is traits of a woman, and we're supposed to praise those traits of a woman. But when a man tries to praise his trait, the aggression, the frustration, the things that make us dominant alpha males, pretty much masculinity, we're berated for it. We're like mocked in the sand and the mud, and you know, oh, chivalry's bad and all this nonsense. It's just come on, let's get over it already. Let's talk about something that's positive. So, as a man that with the customs of the old ways, I have to say, believing in a country that no longer exists, heroes that are long gone, you know, people that try to fight the good fight daily. What I have to say is this: You can't keep taking it away from us. You can't keep taking the fight from us. You can't keep taking the man out of us. You can't diminish a thing that was made pure perfection by God Himself and make it turn into a pile of shit. And this is as a bad way to say it, but hey, it's the truth. You're pushing guys down further and further. And the thing that I think is sick is when you got these relationships with women and they're into this new thing or the I don't know, the fake movie hip hop scene, you are loving hip hop, whatever the hell you want. One of these things, okay? They're making dudes like, okay, oh, he's going to jail. Oh, he get out in this time. Like, it's cool your dude's going to jail. And so all these women got this concept like a guy's supposed to go to jail for what? I think women should go to jail for just freaking being transformers. And I'm not talking about transgenders. I'm talking about literally transformers, Optimus Prime, freaking Starstream, okay? Girls make a false image. And, sometimes it's sexy, it's switched on, and you want to jump on them sexually and just make a whole bunch of babies. But my point is, I'm just regularly talking. I'm really not making jokes. I gotta start saying this because people always laughing at it. And I don't know what the hell they be laughing at. Okay, this is some serious shit. Masculinity is gone in this country. We are going to be replaced when it comes to military uh, applications by technology. They're making these robots that do backflips, somersaults, that can do the freaking tango. These robots can do all this shit. You're thinking that when you see these robots on the thing, oh, they're just innocent robots. And you look at the crap from Japan and all this in China, and you're like, oh, those things are evil. They're going to kill us. No, those things are to make love to and to entertain us, while America is making weapons of mass destruction. Okay? Why would you think they would make humanoid looking soldiers? Because they know they done made every male soft in America. And by doing this, you're endangering the lives of those that are in the country. Why you say that? Why do I say that? It's because, plain and simple, if all the men are weak, soft, feminine, okay, and all the women are just running around with chickens with their heads cut off, demanding things, arguing, and whatnot, belittling men, it's just going to turn into a shit show. And eventually, outside countries are going to invade America. And we won't be having no fighters. All the fighters, the warriors, the true men that understand their masculinity are set behind bars or dead or forced to work some shitty job. This is not America. This is not the dream my father or your father, the ancestors of every person on the country that had a dream and looked at you as the new future for that hope, the bloodline that will continue to fight and will change their family forever. That's gone. That dream is gone. Their dreams are dead along with them. It's sad to say because now we have a country where people whine, cry, and bow down and bend over. And it's like the Statue of Liberty being raped somewhere in Times Square or on Staten Island. Because our liberties and our freedoms are being taken away and replaced by things that only suit people with the narrative that only, how can I say this, strengthens their demented cause of brainwashing manipulation. And how can I say, oh, hell, just downright wrong. People got to stand up. You got to stand up and say this is wrong. Okay, I was gonna say another word, and I'm just gonna make it clear. Just it's all wrong. It doesn't matter how I twist it, make it sound intelligent or more wiser. If you can't look around the world and see things as wrong, there's something wrong with you. If you can walk through a neighborhood full of homeless people and girls with their asses out trying to shit in the middle of the street, and people breathing out of freaking bags and hanging out up with blankets over their heads in the middle of broad daylight in 190-degree weather, then there's something wrong with you. This shit happened like what was a couple summers ago. It was like 190 degrees around here, and you would walk down the street and see homeless people with blankets over their heads because they're getting high on fentanyl and meth and shit. Okay, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. And so instead of enabling them and saying, "Hey, we're helping them," you gotta sit there and say, "Hey, this is wrong. What the city is doing wrong." And then now there's these multiple death rates of people doing fentanyl. Once again, it's wrong. You're letting all these drug come in, so these people can die quicker and you don't have to pay for anything. The jails have already got people full of crazy folks that's been out here on these streets for months and years, and they can't handle them because now they're chemically shoot, man, the chemical disbalance is just beyond that now. Excuse me, but I don't think people realize the severity of this issue. We're losing our freedoms. They're talking about overturning the 14th Amendment, and I've seen it on multiple news shows. And if you guys got to know your amendment rights, because that's the big one. It's the one that the Civil War was all about. You know, if not one of them, I'm pretty positive it is. If not, I might be thinking about the 13th Amendment. But it's the big one: free the slaves. And if I'm wrong, someone write me a thing somewhere or whatever. But the 14th Amendment, I'm pretty positive that's what Lincoln's whole war was about, the Civil War. My grandfather used to tell me, he's like, boy, the Civil War was Lincoln's war. And I'd be like, huh. I had no idea back then because I was like 5 or some crap. And I remember like, okay, and it wasn't until years later that I started learning about the colonials, the war, and the freaking Civil War and all that stuff. But all the wars kind of rattle around in my brain. This is why I can tell you that a lot of our presidents of the uh, past several presidents have created treason in multiple ways, and yet they're still talked about and glorified in so many ways. They're using Donald Trump as another one that committed treason, but what he did was beyond treason. It was a straight disgrace to the country. You know, whatever the hell the 16th of January was, it was a mockery of the Sons of Liberty, not about the government, not about, and I want you to understand what I just said, a mockery of the Sons of Liberty. Okay, I'm not talking about they went in there and they, was doing this about the government or they did this because of whatever right they were trying to make. They weren't really trying to change the government. They went in there, they acted assholes and sat there at Nancy Pelosi's desk. When I say the Sons of Liberty, if you don't know your colonial stuff, these are the guys that had the Boston Tea Party. Okay, if you play Metal Gear, you know what I'm talking about. La Le Le Lo. Okay, and so I'm just being honest when I say this. They made a mockery of historical heroes that made America. Because if those guys didn't do what they did back then in 1776, none of us would be sitting here today. And most likely the Native Americans would have took their land back, which might not have been a bad thing because it's their land in the beginning in the first place. We're dealing with people who came over with an agenda, and then that agenda turned it into a whole nother concept, democracy, and people were fighting for freedoms that are now lost, rights that are supposed to stand there to protect us that are now diminished. If you don't see that's wrong, then there's something wrong with you. I can say it again. There's something wrong with you. Okay? What I'm getting at is this, and it seems like I went far off, but I haven't. Those men, the Sons of Liberty, those people that fought in their wars for the right cause, that knew was wrong. They stood up for what was right. Every last one of them that dropped some tea in the Boston Harbor was a real man. Any person that went out like Daniel Boone and freaking Davy Crockett, even though the Alamo was jacked up, they went out there and they fought these fights because they knew something was wrong and they wanted to make a change in society. You can bring it all the way to 21st century. Right now, y'all thought what happened to George Floyd is wrong, and it was, and it is. And some people, because I had a conversation with a woman, and she told me I was having a conversation with someone else, and she interrupted because sometimes people hear my opinions and thoughts, and they tell me I'm wise, and I don't think I'm wise. I'm always obsessed with trying to learn something new, but I get it a lot. And so she was saying that, oh, you know, George Floyd's death and things, it showed us that the racism was coming back. And I told her racism hasn't went anywhere. It's always been there, and it will always be there because America practices conform to the norm of what society is telling you it is. So all of it is just a bunch of crock. Okay, you see a little girl hanging out with a guy who's in his 50s or 40s and stuff, and there's no parents, and he's not related, and he's not a authority figure or a teacher or anything like that. Then there's something wrong. If you see a freaking woman that's dressing her kid up like a prostitute and to go meet some guy to make a drug run, there's something wrong. Okay? If there's a guy, you know, God intended us to live on this earth, be fruitful and multiply. To, I believe, this is my belief. I can be told by any Christian that I'm wrong. But God put us on this earth as His greatest creations to make it grow better, to make it prosper, to be a beacon of hope throughout the whole universe. This is what I believe. It might sound insane. It might sound too high fat, you know, too far fetched, or too high of aspirations for Earth. You know what I'm saying? But some people, they got this power trip, and they want to force it on you. And this is where I go back to the masculinity thing. They want to take it away from you. And the way you know is because these people have trips where they don't like a guy that did this, or they don't like these group of men that did that, and they come up with these feminist movements and all these movements, but none of it is helping. It's all wrong. Okay, you cannot stop a guy from having testosterone. Okay, unless you want to give him hormones and he turns into Ginger or Sally or Bimbo. I don't know. Well, Bimbo was a cartoon dog, even though Bimbo is a prostitute term. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. There. Anyway, I don't know why I said Bimbo, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is plain and simple. A man needs to be a man. You need to go out and break something every now and then. You need to go out and hunt, fish, nature. This is what mankind is missing. Okay, it shouldn't be a natural thing for a guy to want to just bow down and follow a system that goes against all manhood. And that's what's going on right now. They're not just going against all manhood, they're going against God. If you're a Christian or someone that believes in God or any belief system that has some kind of power in the spiritual world, then you should know when something is right and wrong. Hence the name of this show, Moral High Ground. You should have the morals to understand what's right and wrong. Okay? And what's wrong is taking away man's ability to shoot, be a man. Okay? It's no different than if I was talking about a woman and I was to say, hey, you know, yeah, you're a lesbian, or yeah, you know, running around getting your money. Dudes gotta pay you because that's what these chicks say. You know, but how many are you gonna sit back and actually be the mother to your children, be there for them? How many times you're gonna sit there and actually try to love a man, and not just try, but fully lower all your nonsense and just say, hey, I'm gonna love this dude. And then when you women are out there doing that, don't just sit there and say it. Do it. Show it. A guy doesn't want to come home and hear a woman nag. I'm telling you, as a man, and I know I can't be the only one in the universe, but as a man, after you done been around all day running through the city trying to survive, people already bringing you down all day. There's psychic wars, there's physical wars, there's stuff going on that you don't know about. And a dude doesn't want to come home, turn that TV on and do whatever it can. If not, just give you some good loving. But you come starting, especially if you start nagging at a dude who come through the door, oh, that dude don't want to be around that shit. And this is the problem, I believe, in the black community more than anything else. The black community as well as the Latino community and so forth. This just, and it's like, come on, man. Can I watch TV? Can I play the freaking game? Can I drink my beer? You know? So all this other stuff, all these other guys are talking about when it comes to women and why they can't keep them in. So this is the honest, to me, this is the oldest one and the honest one that I know of because I've been through it multiple times, too many times to count. And I ain't their daddy, and I ain't having it. Girls always talking about, hey, daddy, daddy. No, I ain't your daddy, and I ain't having it. Because if your daddy was around, you'd know how to shut the hell up and help me do something. Join as a team, as a force against anybody that comes against us. But when a woman says, oh, you can get out, or he cheating and all this crap, that means she's not on your team and never was. You know what I mean? If you're on the team, you're gonna sit there. You're gonna make it comfortable as hell as soon as a dude walk through the door. And you're gonna talk soft and sweet as hell. And that's not a thing where it's a forced thing, where I'm forcing. This is a natural order of things. You're supposed to make the person you love comfortable, or why the hell be with them? And that's the simplest thing. I'm gonna leave that one at that. And that's all I'm saying about women tonight. But why the hell be with the person if you're gonna just bring them hell and torment? Okay, it's not. Life is a game to some people, and other people it's serious as hell. And in that situation, anybody you're being with is a serious situation because you got to spend the rest of eternity with that person, and it's best to try to do it the right way instead of the wrong way. So stand up for what's right when it comes to relationships, and that's what I got to say with that. But anything else, so we need people to stand up for what's truly right, not just what they think is right. Like when the COVID crap was going on, there's all these protests. They're protesting for the criminals, the bad people that's doing stuff literally bad and acting like the other person's wrong for trying to stop them from doing something seriously wrong. And now this is unending. It seems like COVID just opened a window to all forms of wickedness and evil. And I said this before too. COVID took the good ones, the ones that were closest. That was your rapture, people. The ones that truly went, that was seem semi good to people or good hearted. That's what went, you know. And if I'm wrong, then so be it. But I guarantee, even the most, I'll say it in this way. I learned something over the years, my 40 something plus years, that really tripped me out because I'm usually, like, I used to be really serious about the line. I'm saying walking the line between good and evil, good and bad, God, the devil, yin, yang. I used to walk this line all the time. I still do. Hell, I'm a Libra. That never goes anywhere. I'm always trying to balance things out. Hell, I'm doing it right now. And so, what I'm saying is, I realized it took me time, long time, that there's many shades of gray. There's always in between. Two wrongs don't make a right. An eye for an eye, someone ends up blind. But the truth of the reality is, there's always good in someone that's bad, and there's always some bad in someone that's good. And in that case, it's more deadlier than the other half that I just mentioned. Why? Because there's people that are good, that act good, real good, but they're wicked as hell inside, and all of it's an act. And a lot of you guys been through that with friends, lovers. Oh, man, I got hiccups because I was drinking last night. And I had some good whiskey. My buddy left, and he went out to throw up somewhere, and I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you, dude?" And I'm about to tell him about my plans to make a freaking good business. It's time to make businesses when all of them leave in the city. Just so you guys know, that means you got opportunity for growth, and there's no competition. So there's no purple cows but yours. And if you took business, you would know what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about the John Cena commercial. But anyway, off topic again. But yes, this is the truth and the reality of things. Okay, there's always a line, and we walk it daily. try not to fall on the side of wickedness or be so good that, you know, we get ignored. You know, we have to find a way to balance things out and to have that harmony within. To do that, we got to go back and we got to think about who we are. Every now and then, I like to reminisce of the good moments of my life, and sometimes most of them is moments that I fabricated myself when I was a child. Moments where I thought it was just cool, and to me, and most people be like, "That's stupid." Da, 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 da. Share those moments with people, and they don't understand why, because they got their own personal ones that they like and remember. Remember making forts with somebody, or going to some event or carnival or something, and it was this the biggest moment of their childhood or whatever. But you go back to those moments to make yourself feel blessed when you were happy. The true sense of it is we all want to be happy. We all want to do what's right inside. But because the world pushes us down and oppresses us, wickedness and hatred and evil is all you see. But I warn you all not to give into those type of thoughts, those type of feelings. Because if you look at everybody as an enemy, one of these days you're going to look at the wrong person, the person that could have saved you, the person that could have loved you, or the person that could have protected you from all that evil and wickedness in the world. And you're going to push them away. And they ain't never coming back. But we got one thing. We have God, and we have the mortal coil as humans. We need to eliminate all these thoughts and processes in the world. Just take a day, take two. There's days I come home and I turn everything off. Everything. The phone, I throw that crap across the room, get tired of all that stupid notifications and ignorant shit. Okay? And so we just quiet. And I know how to meditate. So I just meditate, but it's like the way I was taught in Buddhist meditation. And I'm a lay Buddhist, um, and Christian lay Buddhist, because no one knows what Buddha really looked like. But the thing is, it's not like in the movies where they say just go plank and whatever the hell. You got to let all the thoughts pass. Don't focus on one thought, because our minds constantly think. Don't focus on one thought. And just your mind will drift into that void of nothing. And I had a guy recently tell me that uh, thinking is bad, and that access the other part of our brain we have to not think. But if you live in a city, every day is about thinking. Every day is about worry. Every day is about threat, frustration, aggravation. Okay? And it's because of the fact that they repress the natural natures of men and women. Men more than women. Okay? We have to find a way to find that humbleness and that peace within. Meditate, but pray at the same time. Pray as you meditate. And if you mess up in your prayer, start over. God likes it when you pray uh, the gospel to him, meaning the stuff that's in the Bible. If you can find a way to pray the stuff back to him, he knows you're with him. And I'm not going to say too much, but I'm just going to say this, and this is it. Fight for what's right. Stand up for what you know is right. Stand up for the little guy, the underdog. Okay? Work with karma, okay? Because that's the way I believe God works on earth. It's through karma, even though it's an Asian concept. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. My name's Earl, makes a hell of a lot of sense. Be like Earl. Peace be with you all, and blessings upon you always. Please share, save my stuff, and good job to you all, and protect all your loved ones. Peace be with you.